Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we streamline complex topics into, well, actionable knowledge. Today we are tackling the modern blueprint, the comprehensive roadmap for launching a successful online business right now in the current environment.
And this is a mission that's really born out of necessity. So many people are looking for a reliable path, but they drown in all the noise, all the online gurus. So we've synthesized the best strategies from, actual successful entrepreneurs, SaaS founders, e-commerce experts, creators, to give you a really detailed but not overwhelming structure.
And before we even get into the 6 steps, let's just drop the biggest insight from all the source material right now, because I feel like this changes the entire mental game for anyone thinking about starting.
It really does. It relieves so much pressure. The core secret is that success doesn't hinge on you dreaming up the next world-changing idea that nobody has ever thought of.
Right. Stop waiting for that lightning strike.
Exactly. The most robust businesses are built by leveraging the unique skills, the background, or, the niche knowledge you already have. You just apply that to solve a real specific problem for a specific customer. It starts with what you're already good at.
That immediately makes the whole challenge feel accessible.
Yeah.
So let's clarify our terms. When we talk about an online business today, we're making distinction, right? We're not talking about, say, a local bakery that just has a website.
For sure. We're talking about companies that deliver their core value, whether it's a service, software, digital content, whatever, primarily through the internet. And the advantages are just staggering. Minimal upfront cash, incredibly low overhead, you can operate 24/7. But the real game changer is selling globally from day one.
And the scalability. That's a huge one, especially for digital products. You can create a digital course one time, but you can sell infinite copies without worrying about inventory. It's a totally different economic model.
Precisely. And if that sounds appealing to you, the source material boils the whole journey down into 6 pretty clear steps. Let's just walk through the high-level framework first.
Okay, so step 1. This one requires a bit of introspection, discovering the idea. It's about finding that sweet spot where your personal interests and strengths overlap with a skill that's valuable or, solves a really niche problem.
Then step 2 is the MVP, the minimum viable product. And this principle is it's vital. You have to prove the concept before you commit your resources. We hear about this all the time in software, but what does that actually look like for, say, a course creator?
Yeah, that's where it gets practical. Instead of spending 6 months filming some 40-hour epic course, your MVP might just be a simple premium email newsletter or a series of free short videos where you teach the main concept. If people engage with that, if they pay for the newsletter or ask for more, then you've proven the demand.
And step 3 just flows right from that. Find your first customer. And the guide gives a really important warning here. You have to sell to people outside your close circle.
Oh yeah, your mom will always buy it.
Your mom, your friends, they'll buy it to support you. A stranger buys it because they have a genuine need. That is the only true validation.
And once you have those early adopters, step 4 is fine-tuning based on feedback. But the guide also advises taking all feedback with a healthy grain of salt. You can't build a business by trying to please everyone.
Right. You have to prioritize the feedback that really addresses the core value or usability, not every little suggestion. The last couple steps are more structural. Step 5 is kind of the mandatory homework. Get your legal and financial stuff sorted.
Your business entity for taxes, a plan for what you're setting aside.
All of that. And then finally, step 6 is scaling. Once the product is proven and customers are paying, then you can shift from manual work to scalable growth tactics like SEO or digital ads to reach that bigger audience.
Okay, so now that we have that macro framework, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's do a deep dive into the 4 most common online business models the guide covers: freelancing, e-commerce, content creation, and SaaS. Let's start with the quickest one to get going.
That would be freelancing, consulting, or coaching. It's the definition of a low barrier to entry. All you really need is your time and a skill that's in demand. You're trading expertise for revenue right away.
And what are the skills that businesses are consistently looking to outsource right now?
Well, graphic and web design are always winners. Specialized writing, video editing, coding. But the source highlighted some really interesting complex needs, like online security services. Businesses are hiring freelance ethical hackers to do penetration testing on their systems.
Wow, that's definitely a high-value skill. But for any new freelancer, the pricing dilemma is always the first major hurdle. How do you get out of that trap of just being a well-paid laborer? The source broke down 3 ways to charge.
Right. So most people start with hourly billing. But you realize very quickly that you're being penalized for getting faster. If you get twice as efficient, you literally earn half as much.
It's a terrible model.
It is. So you move on to the fixed fee model. You quote a standard price for a specific outcome, and you completely decouple it from the hours you spent. That's a huge step up.
But the truly transformative level is that third one, value-based pricing.
Absolutely. This is where you calculate your price based on the project's worth to the client's bottom line. Not your time, not your costs. If you're designing a sales page that's going to generate, say, $500,000 in new revenue for them, your fee should reflect a portion of that high value you're creating. That's the difference between charging $1,000 and $100,000 for the same work.
Okay, let's move to model 2, e-commerce. Selling physical products. The core challenge here seems to be the product research. How do you find a winning item?
The guide lays out 4 clear paths. 1, you can bring an existing popular product into a new market, kind of like what the first U.S. entrepreneurs did with athletic shoes from Japan. Or you can create a custom product, or you can do arbitrage, basically, finding undervalued stuff and reselling it.
That last one, flipping, seems like an incredibly flexible side hustle.
It really is. The source had a great example of a flipper named Brett who just sources furniture, vintage clothes, you name it, from thrift stores and garage sales, and then he resells them on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Takes a good eye, but it's super flexible, and it's also, good for the environment.
So once you have the product, the next question is logistics, fulfillment.
Right. When you're just starting out, self-fulfillment is the way to go. You store the inventory, you pack the boxes, you ship everything yourself. But the moment your sales volume starts eating up all of your time, you have to switch to third-party fulfillment. You outsource all of that, the storage, the packing, the shipping to another company. It frees you up to actually grow the business.
Okay, let's shift gears. Model 3, the full-time content creator. This is everyone from YouTubers to newsletter writers. And the foundation here, it seems, is the niche.
You have to resist the urge to be broad. The finer, the more specific your niche, the faster you'll build authority and find your audience. And if you're struggling to figure out what your niche is, the guide has a simple trick. Ask your friends what problems they are constantly asking you for help with. You might be an expert in something you just think is normal.
And you don't have to start out as this 10-year veteran expert, right?
Not at all. There are 2 paths. You can lead with your proven authority, sharing what you already know, or you can be a journalist, commit to doing deep research on a topic, and just share what you're learning as you go. Both can build a ton of credibility.
But let's talk about audience size. People assume you need millions of followers, but the guide brought up that 1,000 true fans concept. Can you explain why that's so important?
It completely changes the goal. The idea is you don't need 1 million casual followers. You only need 1,000 true fans. People who are so dedicated they'll spend about $100 a year on your stuff. That's $100,000 in annual income right there. It proves you can make a great living from a small, dedicated community.
But let me challenge that for a second. Is $100 a year still a reasonable number in a world where everything is a $5 monthly subscription? That price point feels pretty high for a casual follower today.
That's an excellent point. It is high, and that's actually the genius of the model. It forces the creator to provide massive value to justify it. The value isn't just entertainment, it's deep, actionable information or unique access. If you can't justify that price, you haven't built a true fan relationship yet.
That makes sense. And creators need to be smart about their platform strategy. What's the difference between a core platform and a distribution channel?
Your core platform is the asset you actually own, your email list, your website. It's reliable, and you can monetize it directly. Your distribution channels, that's TikTok, Instagram, X, they're vital for exposure, for getting the word out, but you don't control them. The algorithm can change tomorrow, so you have to use those channels to constantly funnel people back to your core platform.
Okay, we've laid out the framework and the major models. Let's get into part 3, the advanced strategy and, maybe more importantly, the mindset. And the first big takeaway here is that successful online businesses almost never stick to just one model.
Diversification is survival. Mature online businesses layer their revenue streams. The guide cited this perfect example of an author and blogger. Over time, she built 8 distinct sources of income: freelance editing, courses, a premium newsletter, book sales, affiliate marketing. No single stream was more than half her income. That creates incredible stability.
And speaking of stability, we have to talk about the big financial hurdle, taxes.
This cannot be overstated. When you go from being an employee to being self-employed, Nobody is withholding taxes for you. New entrepreneurs get to the end of the year, they see their bank account balance, and they completely forget the government is about to hand them a massive bill. A talk with a tax professional is non-negotiable.
Another giant, nerve-wracking question
Yeah.
is, when do I quit my day job? The guide gives some pretty tough advice here.
It's unambiguous, really. Prove the concept before you leap. You either need to make your side hustle financially irrelevant, meaning it's consistently matching or beating your full-time salary for several months, or you need a big financial runway. We're talking 6, maybe 12 months of living expenses saved up before you go full-time.
And finally, let's talk about the mental game. Every single entrepreneur faces that crushing self-doubt, imposter syndrome.
It's universal. And
Yeah.
just knowing that is half the battle. There's this powerful quote from a legendary American author who said that even after writing 11 successful books, she's still worried, they're going to find out now. I've run a game on everybody.
Wow. If someone that accomplished feels that, it proves it's not about you being unqualified. It's just part of the process.
Exactly. The goal isn't to eliminate the doubt, it's to learn how to act in spite of it.
And you're not alone in feeling that way.
Yeah.
Which leads to the final piece of advice. Find your community. The journey can be so lonely.
It really can. Finding a supportive community, whether it's online or a local group, is invaluable. It's not just for referrals, it's for emotional support, learning from other people's mistakes, and just getting inspired when you're in a slump.
So what does this all boil down to? We've covered the 6 steps, the 4 big models, and the crucial mindset shifts.
I think it means the barrier to entry is lower than ever, but the need for structure and intention is higher. The overwhelming consensus is that research is good, planning is good, but the single most valuable thing you can do is just get started. Start building that MVP today.
And here's a provocative thought for you to chew on. Since you're the boss, you don't just get to design your revenue stream. You get to design your ideal lifestyle.
Think about that for a second. Most jobs dictate your schedule. But what if you could really design your work life around your goals? Will you use that freedom to work from 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can pick your kids up from school? Or will you use it to travel the world? The ultimate value here isn't just financial. It's the freedom to build a life that actually fits your definition of success.
We covered a lot of detail today, and we really wanted to give you an actionable roadmap, specific ideas, all of it. So we want to know what resonated most with you. Share your opinions, your questions, or even your proposed business ideas in the comments below.
And if you found this deep dive valuable, if you appreciated us distilling all this complex info, please show your support and like this content.
To make sure you don't miss any future in-depth analyses, please subscribe and turn on your notifications.
And finally, share this deep dive with anyone else you know who's thinking about starting their own thing. We'll catch you next time.